All right, sorry to interrupt. Thank you for coming today. Today we'll be doing kind of a practice lecture. You'll see what I do in my classes here at Doshisha, and I'll also be talking about language learning, my research interests, and so on. So here, just a little bit about me. I'm from the United States, so I speak, American English. I'm from especially Seattle. So if you've been to Seattle or would like to go to Seattle, let me know if you're interested. My name is Benjamin Bailey. Bailey, my ancestors come from Ireland, but yeah, we've lived in America for about 100 years now. So here, that's where I'm from. So for me, this is the literature department, so I like reading. I like reading Ernest Hemingway, Old Man and the Sea, the short stories, and so on. So here, if you're interested, let me know. Also, I like watching sports. So here, yeah, I'm from Seattle, so I like the Mariners. But also, my family likes hunting tigers, and of course the Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani, Yamamoto, and so on. And I like PC gaming when I have time, but recently I have no time. But if you're interested, if you're playing, you can let me know what you're interested in. My research interests are motivation. Why do you study English? Why do you study French or German or Korean? Think about like the reasons for it, the language policy, and so on. Also, I like traveling to places near the ocean, Hawaii and so on. All right, so that's, something about me. My name is Benjamin Bailey. I'm from Seattle in the United States, and my hobbies are, reading books, gaming, having fun with my family. So right now, take a few minutes with the people around you, introduce yourself. Try to do it in English. What's your name? Where are you from? What are your hobbies? Go for it. All right, some of you are finished. If you're not, you can keep going and introduce yourselves. But as you keep talking, some of you already starting to find common points, things that you have in common. Like we're both from here, we both like this book. With your group, try to find 3 common points. Anything is okay. We both have a sibling, an older brother, younger sister. We both like, K-pop. We both like, baseball. Try to find 3 common points with your group. And then write them down on the worksheet. Try to find 3 common points. You all have these common points. But don't make it too easy. So for example, don't do, we all live in Japan, or we all want to go to Doshisha. Try to find more interesting common points. All right, go for it. Try to find some common points with your group members. Go for it. All right, sorry to interrupt. You guys can keep going. But as you're finding common points, please try to add details. Don't just say, we all like sports, but give more information. If we all have a pet, for example, I have a standard poodle named Mal. He has a bulldog named Tom. She has 2 cats named Mabel and Leaf. When you talk to people, if you just give a simple answer, it's kind of boring. So here, if you want to keep the conversation going, if you want to talk, add some details. If you all have, a sibling, then say, I have an older brother, I have a younger brother. If you all like K-pop, or Britpop, what bands do you like? What singers do you like? So as you write down your answers, try to write down, for example, ramen. We all like ramen. So here, do you all like the same type? Like miso, tonkatsu, like pork? What kinds do you like? Add details, add more information for your answers. All right, you guys can keep going. So here, why do you study English? So here, this has come up in some of our conversations, but why are you studying English? This is point number 2 on your papers. Why do you study English? What is the purpose of language? For this, take just a few minutes and write down your own thoughts or your own ideas. I'll come around and check your answers. And then I'll talk about some of the reasons why people study. So go for it. Now that all right, it's okay if you're still writing, but let me talk about some of the research into this area. So for most of you, we study English because there's a test. In Japan, the biggest reason for studying English is that we have the entrance exam, so for university. But even after that, you might want to get a good TOEIC score, a good TOEFL score, good ACAN, a good IELTS score, and so on. But of course, here in this department, we're especially focusing on English. So you might have a stronger reason. And in fact, after university, you don't need to study language anymore. You don't need to study English or any language actually. So here, let me see what is can I hear your answer? Go for it. Please read.
Because I want to get along with foreigners, and I want to be wiser.
Yes, yeah. So here, because you want to get along with foreigners, many of you wrote this answer. You want to talk with people. You want to make foreign friends. You want to talk about issues, deep topics with people from around the world. So here, just like today, you could get together. You could meet each other and talk and find common points. This is a big reason to study English. Communication, to join the international community, to find common points, to talk about issues, and to understand people. So as you come to university, probably your motivation, your reason will change. So far, probably many of you are studying because you need to. But afterwards, you'll probably have a different reason. You'll find a different focus or a different reason. Many of you wrote about this, talking to international people. But closely related, there is another reason people do it. People also study for a cultural interest. So here you might like K-pop, so you want to study Korean. You might like Chinese history, so you want to study Chinese. So here, this is especially relevant. This is especially connected to our department. We're the English Literature Department. So some of you were already talking about reading books. So here, let's go a bit deeper, looking at your cultural interest for studying English. Here, for me, I like Hemingway. Hemingway is my favorite, but I also like reading. Great Gatsby is really good by Fitzgerald. I like J.D. Salinger. And here, if you join our department at Doshisha, you'll study literature, you'll study Shakespeare, you'll study these authors. So let's go a bit deeper. Some of you have already talked about this, but what books do you like? Do you like books? Do you like reading? Do you like any English literature? Even, Harry Potter, even more recent books. Because this is the, Bungaku, English department. So if you join us, you'll be reading lots of English literature. Go for it, take a few minutes. And then, for number 3, what books or authors do you like? Let's see if there are any common books or authors that you guys like for English literature. Go for it. There are other reasons, but these are 3 reasons that people study language. We have, the test, getting qualification, getting the TOEIC, the TOEFL, the center exam. We have talking with foreigners, communication, talking to people. And we have cultural interest. Now, it's not a simple picture. Of course, when you come to university, your language study will change and evolve. Why do you study language? Your answer will change and evolve. Maybe you'll decide, I want to travel abroad. But then you realize, I need to take the IELTS. So I have to take IELTS preparation course and study for that. Maybe you do have a strong cultural interest. Maybe you really like K-pop, or you really like La Liga in Spain. Maybe you really like those, and you want to talk to someone about it. Some of my students have a strong cultural interest. I have some students who love baseball, so they went to LA to watch Shohei Ohtani play. And I think Yamamoto, they love the Oryx Buffalo, so they went to see him play. And especially Korea, we have lots of K-pop, Korean fashion fans who have visited Korea. And they are learning the language because they want to talk about it. They want to, show that. Your motivation, your energy, why you study something will change, and it will be influenced by many factors. So here, your friends from high school, but also the friends you make at university will also affect your interests, what you want to do, your goals. Where you travel, where you study. Where you travel, where you have traveled, or where you're going to travel. If you do study abroad or summer trips, that will influence you. Your hobbies, playing sports, reading books, listening to music will influence you. And of course, your career goals, what you ultimately want to do. It's early, but while you're at university, you'll start to think about what job do you want, what lifestyle do you want. And this will affect your motivation, your goals. Now, this is just for English. So far, we've only talked about English, but my research is not only about English. My research and in my classes, we talk about English, but also languages other than English. Whenever I'm teaching, I try to also include other examples. So thinking about, if we talk about sports, thinking about international sports, talking about, if you visit La Liga games, what will you do? What type of food? Learning international vocabulary, different languages. So here, of course, English is the most helpful. Some of you wrote down English is very helpful for meeting people, for business around the world. But here at Doshisha, you'll also study a third language. You'll also start studying, maybe Chinese, Spanish. We do have Arabic. We have French. We have Russian. Portuguese. Many different languages. So here, just something to think about. When you come here, what third language do you want to study? Not just English, but you'll expand to other languages as well. And maybe you've already started. I think in Japan, about 700 high schools already teach the third language. So maybe you've already started learning, Chinese, Russian, and so on. Take a few minutes with your group and think about what third language do you want to study? Is there already a third language you want to study? You have to for your first year. So think about what language will you choose and why do you want to study it? For this, we'll see, are there any common answers? Go for it. Third language, Japanese you know very well, and then English probably you've been studying for a while. But as you start to learn more languages, what third language would you like to study? Go for it.